your supported bridge pose on your back, knees bent, feet planted, and then scooting the block right underneath your sacrum. So that spot in between the tailbone, the low back, making sure that the block is just centered and even, allowing your hips to settle, deciding where you'd like to place your arms, your hands, maybe somewhere on the body, maybe down by your sides, maybe a little wider. You've got all the options. And then closing the eyes, allowing your eyes to rest. Observing everything that you feel this morning. If you need to wiggle or adjust, feel free. That is an observation. If you're uncomfortable, you can adjust and you can take the block out if that doesn't feel good. Begin to drop into stillness. At the same time, notice the little movement of the body with the breath. Any internal movements you can feel. Perhaps your pulse. Sometimes we feel the movement of the digestive system. So even amongst the stillness, there is some movement. Just allow your breath to deepen. Without forcing anything. Anytime we deepen the breath, it's just a little extension, maybe a little pause. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll start to add our movement. We're going to begin by just pressing into the feet to lift the hips up enough to just scoot that block out of the way, letting the hips land back down. You can set the block aside. And then we're going to bring the arms right down by the sides. Just give your low back a moment to settle. And then we're going to take a few rounds of bridge pose here, flowing with the breath as you inhale, pressing down through the feet, slowly shifting the hips up off the mat, the spine. You determine how high you want to lift. And as you exhale, you're just going to flow back down, lowering the spine down, letting the hips land, and then inhaling to flow up. Exhaling to lower, and just observe the whole span of the movement. Maybe pausing just at the top for a moment. And then as you lower down, just pausing at the bottom for a moment. So we have the 2 shapes, but also that full transition in between as we lift, as we lower. One more cycle here. Observing it all. And then letting your hips land. This time we'll let the knees roll in towards one another. You might even step the feet a little wider. And then we'll just scoop the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug, maybe rock a few times side to side. Allow your shoulders to be soft. And then coming to stillness, let's set the feet down. And then we're going to lift just the right foot up. We're going to tuck the right knee in towards the right shoulder and just pause for a moment. Feeling into that right hip. Maybe we take a few ankle circles, right ankle. Go the opposite way. And then just come to stillness. We'll slide the hands behind the right thigh and just straighten, and then bend into that right knee. Exploring the stretch. And just like before, thinking about the two shapes going from the bent knee to the straightened leg, but the whole span of the movement as you straighten, as you bend. We'll just go one more time. And then bending back into that right knee. And then we'll set the right foot down. This time we'll lift the left foot up. We're gonna hug the left knee in towards that left shoulder. Pause for a moment, just feel that sensation. And then circling the left ankle. You see how the movement brings warmth into the body. Wherever the movement goes, we'll go the opposite way. And coming to stillness. Slide the hands behind the left thigh and then just straightening and bending. And maybe notice if one side feels any different. Maybe one side's a little bit tighter. It's just an observation. And we'll just go one more time. And then bending back into that left knee, gently setting the left foot down. Now we're gonna grab our strap. Hopefully we can just reach it. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna unloop the strap. We'll lift up the right foot. And we're gonna loop the strap around the ball of that right foot and then straighten out into that right leg. So straightening any amount, make sure you're not creating any tension in your shoulders or neck. And then if it feels good, we're gonna slide the left leg out long and just let that left leg land. You can think about grounding down through that whole left leg, flexing into the foot. And then just feel your hips in space here. You have a tendency to kind of hike the right hip up. I'm just gonna see if we can drop that right hip down so it's nice and level and even with the left. And then we'll bend into the right knee. We'll unloop the strap. We'll bend into the left leg, planting that left foot, and we're gonna switch it out. Strap around the ball of the left foot, straightening the left leg, reaching and lengthening out through that left heel. And if it feels okay, we lengthen out the right leg. And then just let that right leg land. Listening to your body here, feeling the sensation. The back side, every part that touches the mat, grounding down. The lightness in that left foot, straightening, lengthening. And then beginning to bend into the left knee. We'll slowly lower that left foot down. Set the strap aside for a moment. Bend into the right knee. And we're gonna tuck the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a few times or just hold tight. And then we're gonna find our way up to a seat. We'll find a cross-legged seat or another seat of your choice. And then find a tall spine. Taking a moment to settle in and just feel the shape as you come upright, what the change in sensation is. And we'll rest hands on the lap. From here, we're gonna start to take some circles, just reaching the right shoulder towards the right knee, sweeping the chest in front, over to the left, around. And feel every part that the movement touches. Explore. More in, less. One more circle this way. Then we just pause. We're going to take our circles the opposite way. One more circle this way. And then just slowing it down, coming to stillness, coming back to center, and let everything come to stillness for a moment. And then with our next inhale, we'll reach the arms around and up. We're going to create length of both of the sides, up and out through the fingertips. As you exhale, rotate right, belly, ribs, and chest. We're going to let the hands lower. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind. And then just pause in your twist here. We'll take 3 breaths. You might think as you inhale, length. As you exhale, maybe a little extra rotation. And then with your next inhale, unwind, reach up. As you exhale, rotating left, lowering the hands down, thinking about that transition. And then we pause, exploring with the breath. Maybe length with the inhale, maybe rotation with the exhale. That can be a constant mantra in any twist. The next inhale, we'll unwind. We're going to reach up, maybe gazing up here, and then just bring your palms to touch. Lower your hands slowly down through heart center. We'll pause here if you want to set an intention for your practice. Take it to your heart here. And then we'll take the hands down. We're going to switch out the cross of the legs. So maybe noting which shin is in front and then recrossing, or just straightening your legs out for a moment and coming back to your seat. And then from here, a tall spine. We're going to just take the hands back behind us. We'll lean back into the palms. And then once you're feeling steady in your palms, then just begin to curl your chest forwards and up, lifting the heart, maybe letting the gaze tip up towards the ceiling, or we just gaze forwards. But feel the front of your chest. And then we can begin to drop the chin back down, walk the hands forwards. And we'll take the hands down by the sides. From here, we're going to reach the right arm straight up. And then we'll crawl the left fingertips out as we lean towards that left side. And then come back up. We'll take that right hand down. Left arm will reach up. We're going to crawl the right fingertips out as we lean in towards the right. And then coming back up through center. This next time, let's just inhale, reach both arms around and up. We'll interlace the fingers, flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Just create a little bit more length. And then we'll rotate the palms down. And as we come down, we're just going to make some little wrist circles here. And then once the hands come down, we'll reach the arms back up. We're going to make another round of wrist circles, just go the opposite way. Once the hands come down, then we can uncross the legs. Maybe we take the legs out for a moment, give them a little wiggle. And then we're going to find our way to tabletop, so we can bend into the knees, come up and over. Set yourself up. Make sure you've got your blocks up at the top. We can pat under the knees, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders, fingers spread wide. And a few rounds of cat and cow, just inhaling to drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, exhaling to round. Following the movement. The whole span of the movement. is an important observation to make, that when we come into poses, it's not just the pose, there's the transition into the pose, out of the pose, and actually the majority of the time might be in these transitions rather than the poses themselves. So it's important to be mindful of the transition as much as the shape. Also, just because it's time, we're always in the present moment. And so much of that present moment is in these transitions. We'll go one more time. And then just come to stillness. From here, we're going to keep our hips where they are. We'll begin to walk both hands forwards. We're going to melt the chest down towards the mat. For puppy pose, forehead could come down to the mat, forehead could come down to a block. If your shoulders aren't ready for this, you can always overlap your forearms. Bring your forehead to your forearms. Make sure your shoulders feel okay, and just think about that opening across the front of the chest. As we melt the heart forwards, the chest forwards, the upper back scoops in. And then next inhale, let's begin to rise up. But once we come onto the palms, we're just going to lower down to our forearms. And then we're going to step one foot back, step the other foot back, and we'll lower the knees down, coming into a Sphinx pose. So we line up our elbows under our shoulders, that 90-degree bend in the arms, palms down. And just let your spine be long here. Think length back through your tailbone, lengthening all the way up the spine, feeling the chest up away from the mat, reaching the heart forwards. And then we'll lower down. We'll come onto the forearm, well, lowering down, overlapping the palms, maybe rest on one cheek, and then let's bend into the knees, and we'll take a windshield wiper side to side. And then come to stillness. And we're going to let the feet come down. And from here, we're going to roll onto the left side. Coming onto the left edge of the body, you can bend into your bottom arm, that left arm, and we're going to line everything up. So basically, we're in mountain pose on our side here. So the legs are long, the feet are stacked, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. And then we're going to lift the right foot up. We're going to bend into the right knee so the right foot reaches behind. And we're going to reach down. See if we can grab onto the right foot, ankle, maybe your pants. And then notice if that right knee pops up. We're going to let that right knee drop down. Think about spinning the right inner thigh back towards the wall behind as you reach the right thigh back. Hugging the right heel in any amount. And then let's just begin to release that right foot. We'll let that right leg go long. Then we're going to come down onto our bellies again and roll over onto the right side this time. Lengthening everything out, nice and straight. And then we're going to lift the left foot up, bend into that left knee, reaching the left foot behind, reaching the left hand down. Notice if one side feels any different. Just an observation, because so often things do feel a little bit different. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to think any further on it. But just knowing your body. And just reaching that left thigh back, maybe hugging the left heel in. And then we can slowly begin to release that left foot. We'll straighten the left leg back out. We'll roll back down onto the belly. And then from here, let's take the hands down alongside the low ribs. We're going to press our way up through tabletop. And then from tabletop, we'll step the right foot straight back. I'm going to lengthen out through the right heel. Maybe we rock back and forth a few times, pressing out through the right heel. And then come to stillness. We'll line up that left knee right over the hip. From here, we're going to begin to float that right foot up. See if you can keep that right leg nice and long. Keep your hips level, belly button scooping in towards the spine. And then just optional to reach the left arm up alongside the ear. We'll keep the gaze down towards the mat and create length back through your right heel, forwards through the left fingertips. Keep scooping your belly button in, engaging the abdominals. Let's set everything down, tabletop, reset. And we're going to step the left foot straight back. We'll start with the rocking. So we can just lengthen back through that left heel, shifting back and forth. And then coming to stillness, that right hip over the right knee. We're going to float that left hip, that left foot up, lengthening out through the left heel. Feel the shape. Decide if you want to add the right arm, reaching the right arm up alongside the ear. That right hand could always come down any point. Keep your hips level. Keep belly button engaging in. We'll think drawing those frontal hip points in towards the low ribs. Lengthening. One more breath. And then we put everything down to the mat, tabletop. From here, take your knees just a little bit wider. Ease your hips down towards your heels. Child's pose. Let that all go. Let your breath smooth out. And really just let it go, because we're always going present moment to present moment. If we hang on to things that we were just doing, we're not going to be in the present any longer. Now from here, next inhale, we're going to begin to rise up, tabletop. We might pad underneath the knees here. We're going to come up into a kneeling mounted. So if you want that extra cushioning, pad under your knees. And as you come up, just bring your strap with you. We're going to use the strap here. So tops of the feet can be down. You always have the option to tuck the toes if that feels better. And you can always go a little bit wider with your knees. We're going to do a little bit for the shoulders here. So we'll take our strap nice and wide. You can start here about shoulder height. We're going to reach the strap up towards the ceiling and then slowly lower the arms down behind. You can let the strap slide between your hands as much as you need to. And so after the first time, we can kind of find our flow here. We'll reach back up and we'll come forwards and down. We're going to keep everything else steady, reaching the arms up, rotating the arms down and back. Coming back up, forwards and down, up and around. Just enough tension on the strap to hold. Now the next time that we come back with the arms, so we're reaching the arms back, we're going to reach the right arm up and we can just pull down with that left side. So we add like a side stretch. And then we're going to drop the right arm back down. This time the left arm reaches up. And then let's just reach the right arm back up. We're going to draw the shoulders forwards and down. And from here, we're going to take the strap in the right hand. We'll just reach behind us. And we're going to grab onto the strap, maybe about shoulder width distance apart. You can always crawl the hands closer together, but you can always take the hands further apart as well. And then we're going to keep the spine long here. Keep your belly button engaging in, and then slowly begin to reach your hands up away from your low back, straightening into the arms any amount. If you need to let the strap slide between the hands, you can do that. Give yourself more space. And then let's just begin to lower the hands back down to the low back. We're going to let the strap go, set it aside if you want to take a few shoulder circles either direction. Just circle it out. And then from here, we're going to take the hands back down to the mat tabletop, but we'll bring our hands to the blocks. We'll use the blocks for this next little sequence. So maybe the medium height. We're going to gaze in between the palms, step the right foot through. And then from here, we're going to walk the hands back. We're going to straighten into the right leg. You might bring that right foot forwards a little bit. And then we're going to rebend into that right knee, walking the hands forwards, finding our lunge. So we flow back and forth through this half split. Getting a little stretch into the back of the right leg. But at the same time, also getting a stretch front of the left hip as you lunge and let the hip settle. And then there's that whole transition, the movement in between. One more time. We'll meet back in the lunge, right knee bent. From here, the left palm is going to stay down. We're going to rotate right. You could always bring the hand to that right leg, and then we're going to reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, finding our twist. So the right arm's going to reach straight up, and then this is a little bit of a challenge here. Okay, so we're going to think about the steadiness in our feet, in our hips, and we're going to begin to lighten up the left fingertips. We're going to rise up and we're going to take the arms out to a T. So we just opened up into this wide arm twist. I know that's a little challenging transition. You can also come up and then open into your twist. And then from here, we're going to drop the right arm down. We'll lift the left arm up. And then we'll tee the arms back out. We're going to unwind, come back through center. We'll reach up. We're going to gather ourselves here and then just place the hands down on the blocks. Now from here, we're going to tuck the back toes under that left toe and lift the left knee. So we've got a lunge. And then we're going to step the right foot back. So we're in a plank just briefly on our blocks. We'll tap the knees down. We're going to reset in tabletop. Okay, and then the left foot's going to step forwards. We're going to start with the half split flow, walking the hands back, straightening into that left leg. Walking the hands forwards, bending, letting the hips settle. Walking the hands back, walking the hands forwards. And you just listen to your body, just straightening any amount, maybe a little more each time. One more time. And we meet back in the lunge, left knee forwards, let that settle, wrists underneath the shoulders. The right palm's gonna stay planted. We're gonna rotate towards the left, reaching the left arm up. Now this is just, all this is a transition. You can always bring that left hand back down, rise up and open into this twist. But the other option is we lighten up onto the right fingertips. We're gonna use our core here to begin to come up, reaching the right arm forward so we open into the twist. Then we can drop the left arm down, the right arm reaches up, the left fingertips can just lengthen straight down or come over to that right leg. And then we'll tee the arms back out. We're going to shift the gaze forwards, take the hands down to the blocks, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Just reaching out through that right heel, letting the hips settle. And then we'll step the left foot back, briefly a plank, drop the knees down, untuck the toes. Let's let go of the blocks. And then from here, we're going to shift the hips down and back. We'll take it into a child's pose. Let that go. And then next inhale, we're going to begin to rise up. This time we'll come on to hands and knees. We're going to take the palms a little bit further forwards, fingers spread wide, and this time downward facing dog, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back, maybe walking the dog a few times. And just see how everything feels, your shoulders, your legs here. Maybe the legs are already feeling kind of open. You might just settle yourself to stillness. And then observing the shape, that upside down V shape, lengthening the tailbone up and back, drawing length out of the spine, straightening into the arms any amount. And then a deep bend into the knees here. Shift your gaze forwards, begin to walk it all the way up to the top. As many steps as you need. And then at the top, sliding hands up the shins, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold in. Inhaling to reach your arms around and up, steady down through your feet. Exhaling, arms down by the side. And then we'll inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, arms down by your side. One more time. Meeting in mountain pose, arms down by the sides. Steadying down through your feet. Inhaling to reach arms around and up. We'll interlace the fingers, flip the palms up towards the ceiling, steady down through both feet. Take a little lean over towards the right. Come back through center. Take a little lean over towards the left. Come back up through center. We'll pause. Flip the palms down. We're going to slowly lower the arms down by the sides. Bring the hands to the hips, and we're going to steady into the left foot. Take a big step back. Right foot, warrior one. Planting that right foot down. So right toes angled up towards that right corner of the mat. Hips are forwards. Think like in a lunge. Just that back hip has to open slightly to plant that back foot down. And then we bend into that left knee, hips forwards, reaching the arms around and up. You want to make sure we feel steady here. We're going to add some movement. So steadying down through both feet. Take an inhale. As you exhale, reach elbows back, straighten into that left leg. Inhale to rebend, reaching the arms up. Good. Try taking your feet a little bit wider, Meredith. You can, as in like the side, you can take your back foot a little bit. Yeah. See how that, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then just, you want to make sure you feel steady before you add any movement. We'll go one more time. Meeting back in warrior one, reaching the fingertips up, settling in for a moment. And then we'll take, well, let's keep the hands up. We're going to lift up onto the ball of that right foot. Little bend in that back knee. Now shifting the gaze down, we're going to take the hands down to the mat, or I'm going to suggest the blocks here, whatever height you like. We're back to our lunge, and we're going to maybe crawl that right foot back a little bit. I find when I'm in a warrior one, it's a little bit shorter. The lunge, you can take a little bit longer. You let the hips settle. Let's drop the back knee down, untuck the toes, and we'll just rise up. Hands could come to that front knee, then reach the arms up. Now this is just an option here. We might just hold like this. We might try inviting a little back bend in, think curling the chest forwards and up, maybe shifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to let the gaze come down. We're going to take the hands down to the blocks. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Take a big step up. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. And then inhaling to sweep arms around and up. Exhaling the arms down by the sides. And we'll take the hands to the hips. This time we'll step the left foot back. Planting that left foot down, making any little adjustments here. Our hips are facing that short edge of the mat, bending into the front knee, sealing the back foot down, making sure we feel steady. And the ways to find more steadiness are taking the feet wider like this or shortening the stance in the long direction. We let this all settle, reaching the arms around and up. And then we're going to add our movement, taking an inhale. As we exhale, we'll reach the elbows back, straightening that front leg, and then inhaling to rebend, exhaling to straighten. Following your breath, connecting to that breath, but also the flow of the movement. A little pause in each of the two shapes. One more time. Bending back into our front knee, finding our warrior one here, maybe letting the hips settle just a little bit more, gazing forwards. And all we're going to change is we're going to lift up onto the ball of that back foot. So we let that left heel spin up towards the ceiling, put a little bend in that left knee, then shifting your gaze down, slowly taking hands down to the blocks. Maybe we wiggle that back foot back a little bit if you want to give yourself a little bit more room. We let the hips settle, we gaze forwards, creating a nice long spine. We're going to drop the left knee down, letting it land softly, lightening up onto the fingertips here. We can bring hands to that front leg. We can reach the arms up. And then we're just pausing here, or if you'd like to invite a little back bend in, we're lengthening up the spine, curling the chest forwards and up, maybe shifting the gaze up, and that will challenge the balance. And then let's slowly begin to drop the gaze down, take the hands back down to the blocks. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, press out through that back heel, and we're gazing forwards, big step up, left foot. Inhaling to half lift, exhaling to fold. Inhaling to sweep arms around and up, exhaling arms down by the side. Just let that all go. Take a pause for a moment. The next shape that we're going to do is a balance, and we have the option to come to the wall. It might be nice to just come and stand near a wall and just have it there in case you want to use it, but also bring a strap with you. If the one that we're going to do is a quad stretch where we grab our back foot. So you only need the strap if you use that to help hold the foot. All right, so we'll start with the left side towards the wall, and then we're going to you can bring your left fingertips to the wall, or you just know that it's there if you need it. We'll steady down through that left foot. We're going to begin to lighten up onto the right toes. We're going to lift the right foot up behind us. Now the options are we can either lower the right hand down, we can grab onto that right foot or ankle, or we loop our strap, make a little loop with the strap. You take it behind you, hook your foot through the loop of that strap, and then you can lift that right foot up. Beautiful. And then once we've got that bind, then we just work on reaching the right thigh back, maybe in line with that left thigh. We can work in that direction, dropping that right knee down towards the ground, maybe hugging that right heel in. You can always, if you're by the wall, using the wall for support, try hovering your fingertips off the wall for a moment. It's always there if you need it. And then from here, let's just begin to slowly release that right foot down. Let it land. Give your legs a little wiggle. And then we just do an about face. We're going to turn the right side towards the wall. You can take your right hand out to the wall. We're going to lighten up onto the left toes. We're going to lift the left foot behind. Same options as before. Maybe we can hold on. Maybe we use the strap. And then we work towards reaching that left knee in, spinning the left inner thigh in and back towards the wall behind, and then reaching that left thigh back in space. Important also to focus your gaze. Think about drawing that left shoulder blade in towards the spine. And then let's slowly release that left leg, let that left foot come down. Now you can just come back to your mat, bring everything along with you. And once we get to the mat, we're just going to take the feet wide and we will do our swish. So let the hips, the low back, just release by side to side. Slow it down, come to stillness. All right, now from here, we're gonna turn to face the long edge of the mat and we'll go towards the plant wall. Maybe we bring our blocks along with us. And then from here, we'll start with the feet wide as you're comfortable going. We're gonna start with the left side, lifting up onto the left toes, and then we're gonna open up from that left hip, shifting the left knee towards this wall over here. And then from here, we can straighten into the left leg. We've got our heel to arch alignment. We're gonna tee the arms out to the side. So we have our warrior two shape. We've just straightened into that left leg. That left hip is pinning back. We're gonna be in a hinge over the left hip crease, reaching the left fingertips forwards, and then we'll drop the left hand down, either to the shin or a block. Right arm reaches up, just straight up towards the ceiling. We're gonna think about lengthening crown of the head forwards, opening the right ribs up. And then next, inhale, steady into your feet as you slowly begin to rise. We're gonna keep that front leg straight, flip the left palm up. We'll reach the left arm alongside the ear, letting the right arm just slide down that back leg. And then we'll tee the arms back out. We're gonna take hands to the hips and steer the left toes towards the long edge. This time we'll lift up onto the right toes. We're gonna open up the right hip. We'll find that warrior two shape, and then we're gonna straighten into the right leg. We'll tee the arms out, preparing for triangle pose, keeping that right hip pulling back as you hinge over the hips, sliding forwards like you were gonna scoot your torso along a countertop. And then we just let the right hand come down, either the shin or a block. The left arms reach up towards the ceiling. We're gonna rotate left ribs up. Think about drawing that left hip back in space. Lengthening crown of the head forwards. And then you steady into your feet. Begin to slowly rise up. You could always add a little bend in that right knee. And then we're gonna sweep the right palm up towards the ceiling. We'll reach the right arm up alongside the ear. Let the left hand slide down the back leg. So this is reverse triangle. And we're just still straightening into that right leg. And then we'll tee the arms back out. We're gonna take the hands to the hips. We'll steer the toes towards that long edge. And then from here, we're gonna open the hips as if we were gonna come into goddess pose, opening both hips, turning the toes out, the heels in, but all we're gonna do is steady down through both feet, keep the legs straight. The hips are open, the legs are strong, and then we'll inhale to reach the arms around and up. And this time, let's interlace the fingers. We're gonna leave the index fingers free, all the other fingers interlace. We make a little arrow, and we're gonna lean towards the right. Come back through center. We'll lean in towards the left. And then back in towards center. We're gonna release the hands apart, circle the hands down to the hips. We'll shift the toes forwards. And then from here, we can heel toe, walk, or step the feet in about hips width distance apart. Give the legs a little wiggle. All right, from here, let's come back to the top of the mat. Find your mountain pose, arms down by the sides, steady down through both feet. Take an inhale, reach your arms around and up. As you exhale, fold in, hinging over the hips, and then inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. We're gonna plant the hands, step both feet back to a plank pose. And then from our plank pose, let's just pause for a breath. You can always tap the knees down. Take one, maybe two breaths here in plank pose. Gazing down. And then let's tap the knees down. Untuck the toes. We're going to walk the hands back, and then we'll shift the feet around, drawing the legs out in front, finding a seat. And from here, we can come to sit up on a blanket. We're going to take the soles of the feet together and let the knees go wide for bound angle pose. Maybe a few butterflies here to start, if that feels good. Just wiggling the heels in any amount that feels good for you. And then take a moment to feel your sitting bones find a tall spine, lengthening out the low back. And we'll take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to hinge over the hips, folding in till you slow in that fold. Then you're going to just pause there, relax your gaze down, relax the back of your neck. Maybe even rock your head a little side to side here. Maybe a little up and down. Whatever neck movements feel good. And then come to stillness. We're going to slowly begin to lift up. From here, help your legs up together. And then we're going to step the feet out wide. We'll take the hands behind, and we're going to do a little windshield wiper. Rest your wrists comfortably. And then we'll find from here, it's going to be a little series of flowing movements. The next time we come over to the right with the knees, we're going to take the left hand over to the right knee. You can take the right hand a little bit further behind. If you like this better without the blanket, you can always scoot the blanket out. And then from here, we're going to come back through center, lifting the knees up, taking the knees over to the left. We'll take the right hand over to the left knee, the left hand a little bit further back. We get a little twist, gazing over the back shoulder. And then we'll come back through center. We're going to do that same move. The knees fall to the right. We're going to take the left hand over to that right knee, and then starting from that twist, and then we'll add that left arm reaching up alongside the ear. And then we'll take that left hand down. We're going to come back through center, over to the left. We're going to rotate, sweeping the right arm up. You can even just kind of flow these movements all together as we twist and we reach the right arm up. And then we'll begin to lower that right hand down. We're going to come back through center, over to the right. Last time, we rotate. We're going to reach the left arm up. And then one final option here. We might just stay where we are, or you can send your weight into that bottom palm. You can begin to lift your hips up, press your hips forwards, arcing along that left side. We can always take the hips back down if that doesn't feel good. Then we'll lower the hips. We're going to take that top hand down, begin to unwind, back through center. Make sure this feels good. We're going to take the right hand up alongside the ear. And just remember, we can stay here, or you send your weight into that bottom palm. You try lifting the hips up, pressing the hips forwards, arcing along the right side. And then let's begin to lower the hips back down. Take that top hand down. We'll unwind and come back to center. And then once we're here, let's just walk the feet in, bring the legs together, wrap your arms around your legs, give yourself a hug, and just rest your neck here, soften your shoulders. And then we'll begin to find our way onto our backs. Make sure you have everything for Shavasana handy. Blanket if you like it, have a block handy, anything else. And then we'll come down onto our backs, and we're going to start by tucking the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Apanasana. Then from here, we'll take one hand to either knee, We're going to begin to open the knees apart, finding a lifted bound angle to start. We'll slide the arms inside of the legs. We're going to reach the hands for the feet, sending feet up towards the ceiling for a happy baby. And we might rock our happy baby side to side. Then the feet are going to go wide as you're comfortable going. That opening coming from the hips. We're going to bend into the knees, allowing the knees to soften in towards the ground, relaxing shoulder blades, head down on the mat. Maybe wiggling a little into the toes, stretching the toes apart. And then let's slowly come to stillness. We'll bring the feet back in towards one another. We're going to bring the legs together, zipping the legs up. And then maybe with the legs together here, just take a few circles. We'll draw circles on the ceiling with the knees, just one direction. And go the opposite direction. And then come to stillness. And we'll set the feet down. We're going to grab our block, lift the hips up, scoot the block underneath, landing in our supported bridge pose, where we might stay, or we lift the feet up. You might pause, just kind of tucking the knees in for a moment. And then as you're ready, floating the feet up towards the ceiling. Finding a pause here or movement. Might feel good to cross the ankles and pause for a moment. Out the cross. Might feel good to, well, anything might feel good. Listen to your body. See what you think would feel good. Let's begin to slowly bring the legs back down. Let your feet land. Lift up the hips enough to just scoop the block out of the way. And then let's just heel toe the feet in towards one another. We'll tee the arms out to the side. And we'll end with a supine twist. We're just going to take the hips a little bit to the left. Slowly let the knees drop over to the right. Propping up with the block if you like. Allow everything to settle. And then we'll slowly begin to unwind the twist, bringing the knees back up towards the ceiling. You can take the hips just a little bit to the right, let the knees begin to drop over to the left, letting that right hip lift, and then finding your edge, pausing there. Slowly coming back up through center, unwinding the twist, and then maybe one last final squeeze here, just tucking the knees in or whatever movement feels good. And then we are ready for Shavasana. So as you're ready, setting the feet down, finding your shape, propping yourself up, letting your body release. Working out any last wiggles. Make sure you're warm enough. Make sure you're comfortable. And then let yourself settle. Let your body begin to grow even heavier here. Just feeling the solidity of your body, the ground beneath you. Continuing to grow heavier, settle more into the support, the ground. And just imagine that ground going deep, layers and layers, rocks and earth and all those solid things, all that supporting you. And the quote for today comes from Mark Whitwell. This is, in movement, there is balance. In balance, there is movement. Yoga is all about balance, within and without, above, below, front, behind, male, female, in and out. And just going further with that, it's balance between heaviness and lightness, steadiness and ease, hot and cold. Just begin to bring your awareness back into the space, into your body, wiggling into fingers and toes, larger movements. Maybe eventually taking some windshield wipers or a long stretch, lengthening all the way out, whatever feels good. And then just as you're ready, beginning to find your way over onto the right hand side, tucking up into the fetal position, and just give yourself a little rest here, feeling the calming, soothing nature of this shape. And then slowly beginning to press yourself up to a seat. Finding your seat, maybe keeping your eyes closed, staying in that internal space just a little bit longer. And then with your next inhale, begin to circle your arms around and up, bring palms to touch. And exhale, lower your hands down through heart center. And we're going to pause here for a moment, just connecting the hands at heart center. Feel the press of your palms together. You might even think about just really pressing the palms together, reaching elbows apart, softening the shoulders down away from the ears. And then if you'd like to join me in the sacred sound of Om, that is always just an option. You can just listen, but if so, let's inhale together here. And then next inhale, just lifting your chest. And as you exhale, bowing forward. Thank you for sharing in this practice with me. Namaste.